Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Amsterdam Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana, and today we're here again with the lovely Deana Horne. Hello, Deana.
Hello.
From DMH Beauty and Associates. So, we've done this a couple times now,
Yes,
and
we
it's
have.
always a ton of fun and way more fun than I typically have with guests. So, but I wanted to really get into your passenger history because every time we've done this, we kind of get stuck on time.
Yep.
So we skip over like the what got you into this, a
Yep.
lot of like the really in-depth stuff. So let's kind of start there.
Okay. Okay, so I started this about 3 years ago in my new journey of skincare and loveliness. And I started working at Hotheads about 2 years ago. And one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to do this was I was a makeup artist for Matrix for quite some time. And
What's Matrix?
Matrix, the hair company.
Okay.
Yep. And I was working as a makeup artist at their hair shows.
Okay.
And I had so much fun. And then Wendy, the woman who owns the salon that I work through, she saw my work, and I approached her to find out if I could come do makeup at her salon. And unfortunately, I wasn't licensed as a cosmetologist or an esthetician, so I couldn't work. And I was like, fantastic. So I just kept doing my stuff with Matrix. And at the time I was working at, in a mortgage company. And, mortgages are so simply amazing. And the whole, everything goes up and down. And I got laid off and I couldn't handle it anymore. So I decided to take a year off of school and to get my bachelor's and go to school to be an esthetician. And fell in love with it and haven't looked back since.
Cool. So one thing I want to ask was, you said you couldn't work for Hotheads because you weren't a licensed cosmetologist esthetician, but you could work for Matrix. So is there a reason for not being able to do one over the other?
Yeah, because there are certain states I can work in, like Massachusetts. I can work in Massachusetts all day long and not be licensed as anything and go work as a makeup artist. But in the state of New Hampshire, if you want to touch people's skin with anything, you have to be licensed. And the only way that you kind of go around that is the big stores like Ulta and like the makeup counters at Macy's and JCPenney and all that stuff. They don't have to be licensed because they're representing a brand. And if the brand requires an esthetician to represent that, then that person would be an esthetician. But, like the makeup companies, Urban Decay, Too Faced, stuff like that, the girls aren't licensed estheticians most of the time. They're just love makeup and have learned all kind of stuff about makeup, but they don't know anything about skincare most of the time. Okay. So.
All right. So it's just like a legal requirement in New Hampshire for that reason?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Neither did I until I started looking. I'm all like, what's happening?
Yeah. So, okay. So I guess we'll go into a little more detail here. I'm just kind of picking at things.
Okay.
Cosmetologist versus esthetician.
Okay. So as a cosmetologist, I can cut hair.
Okay.
As an esthetician, I can only do skin stuff. So, as a cosmetologist, you can do facials. You can't get into exactly what I can without an aesthetics license. But for the most part, cosmetology is strictly hair. They learn about skin and they learn about nails, so they can do waxings, they can do manicures and pedicures, and they can do facials. But an esthetician is strictly skin. So that's all that we work with.
Okay.
We just make sure that, because the biggest organ of the whole entire body is your skin. So we need to take care of it. A lot of times we don't. But yeah, that's pretty much the only difference. And I don't want to do hair. I kind of wanted to at one point. And then because estheticians can actually do pedicures, I was like, why would I not be a nail technician? So then that way I wasn't having to lose clients because they're going to this nail tech and it's hard for my schedule and their schedule to kind of merge. So I also became a nail tech, and I did that as an apprentice actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. I just wanted to clear some of those things out because I have no idea about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when the government gets involved, things get really odd, like what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
I just like talking about in brush strokes, figuring all this stuff out.
It's funny because there's a state in New England, Vermont or Rhode Island, that you do not need to be licensed to be a massage therapist.
Okay.
What? I'm like, that you could mess somebody up super bad just by touching the wrong muscle or pushing on it the wrong way or something like that. So that's pretty scary. Whereas in school, when you're in school, like as an esthetician, I have to know all the muscles in the face. And the bones. And I have to know all the muscles and the bones in the hands and the feet. And I have to know about the nervous system and the veins and the capillaries and all of that stuff because it all affects the skin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's crazy to me that there are some places that don't require you to be licensed for things like that. Makeup, there's a lot of states that you don't need to be licensed to put makeup on in.
Yeah.
Like for Massachusetts, for instance. So, and because I'm working with Matrix, state board's not with Matrix. You know, they're not showing up at the hair shows and all of that stuff. So, but it's so much fun. I had so much fun doing that. I don't do those anymore, but they were a lot of fun.
Okay, good. So anyone looking to get into this field, look at your state regulations. I never thought I'd have to say that.
Because you never know.
Yeah.
And like in California, the laws are for aesthetics, it's 1,200 hours, where here in New Hampshire, we're only 600 hours. Or you can do an extra 300 hours to become what's called advanced, which is microdermabrasions and peels and all of that good stuff. That this like the lights and the not the microneedling, the anyway, I can't remember the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I was gonna make a big dig on California, but I'll leave that out of it. So, oh man, so that's pretty good. So we work for hotheads. Now,
I don't work for hotheads.
well, that's what this was what we're getting into. Like,
Okay.
you're stationed out of there,
Yeah.
but you work for yourself. But you
Yes.
kind of just use their studio.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's how it works.
Yes.
Yeah, just making sure I got that.
Yeah. So I have a room that I rent, and then I have a nail table that I rent, and then we have 3 pedicure tubs that I have access to as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because that was a big question. Is in a lot of industries, there's a lot of ins and outs that people have no idea how to navigate. And when you start talking about, I mean, I know a bit about your backstory, but no one else does.
Right.
So when we're talking about negotiating, if you want to work there or something like that, maybe we get into that a little bit because that could be because someone brand new looking to come into it might be a little overwhelmed with that.
Oh, it is overwhelming. You know, when you're in school, you just you want to be the best at what you're doing, and it can be competitive. But out of my class, I think there's only 2 of us that are actually working in skincare, and that's it.
Yeah.
And most of the people that I actually went to school with are not working as estheticians. They're working in the field that they were in when they were going to school. Or they're not working because they had children or, you know, stuff like that. So there's not a lot of people that are, I want to say, from the little group that I was in for a year, I think there's 7 of us that are actually working, and there was 20 some of us all total. Yeah.
So it's odd. I mean, I kind of see the same numbers in just traditional college anyway.
Yeah.
Where most people that graduate either don't move into their field, don't pull on a career at all, you know.
Right.
So it just kind of seems like a waste of money to me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's $15,000 to go to the school that I went to.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to have a passion for something in the beauty industry. You know, you can't decide that, oh, I'm just going to go do this because somebody's going to pay for it. Or, you know, I feel like if you're going to be in this industry, you have to have a passion for it.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't, I don't feel like, I feel you can definitely do a good job if you have all the knowledge and all of that stuff. But I feel like a really amazing esthetician has a passion. Like an amazing hairdresser has a passion for their job. You know, you look at people that have a passion for their job and they're amazing at it. And, you know, in this industry, unfortunately, I have met so many women that are all like, am I going to break out? Will I break out after this facial? And you really shouldn't break out after a facial. Sometimes you can, but it depends on your skin as well.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of people that are like, every time I get a facial that I break out, and I'm like, well, something is happening. Either the product's not all coming off, or they're using something that they're not reacting well to, stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like you have to have a passion to be in this industry.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about that. You know, that you kind of have to like what you do. Mm-hmm. And you see this when we talk about success a lot. Mm-hmm. The more you like what you do,
yep.
you get that chance of becoming better in your industry.
Right.
Very rarely do I see people who just hate their jobs, but they're like super good at them.
Yeah. Right.
There is kind of a bit of a passion involved in that as well. And I mean, it does happen, but generally, like when you decide to go into entrepreneurship, you should find something you enjoy.
Yes.
And then build the industry, your business around that idea.
Yep.
Like I like talking to people one-on-one. So I did this.
Right.
So, but when you're doing hair or makeup or all this stuff, probably the same thing as we're talking about now.
I mean, it's a very personal service.
Yeah.
So, and people, like I had a client come in the other day, and she was telling me that one of the women at her job, she said, oh, I'm going to go get a facial. And this woman was like, well, that's just a pampering session. And what people don't understand, it's not just pampering. I mean, yes, granted, there is a massage that goes along with it, and you're in a nice room that smells good, and the lights are dim, and the spa music's in the background, and there's ocean waves, and there's a little fireplacey thing in there, and stuff like that, and it's super, super relaxing. But the one thing that gets all of the stuff all the time is our skin. Like, it's bombarded with pollution and free radicals and sun and hot air and cold air and all of that stuff. And people don't think that a facial is actually necessary. But when you get one, you find that your skin actually looks better and it feels better when you start taking better care of it.
And that's a great point, especially like this time of year. Let's just talk about how cold it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, your skin can get crazy damage in the cold.
Absolutely.
Because I've been out in super cold weather, like colder than this, and it's like it doesn't take long for your skin to die and just craziness. Yep. So I guess that's a good segue into what we want to talk about today.
Absolutely.
Which is weather.
Yes.
So
yay!
I guess we'll start broad stroke. Let's talk about cold weather skincare. I guess that's probably a good place to start.
That's pretty much yes. So a really good way to do that is exfoliation from in the shower is a great way to exfoliate, and you can use these little gloves that you can put on, or you can get those little loofahs or whatever. But in the winter time, it's super important to get all that dead skin cells off, because you can put cream on all day long, but if it's not getting into the actual place where you need it, which is the dermis, which is the lowest level of the skin, where everything happens and the cells, turn over and recreate themselves and all that good stuff. That's where you want these products to go, because that's what's producing a new skin cell. So you want that skin cell to be taken care of and to be moisturized and things like that. And you also want to make sure that it's a barrier that is, a lot of people, it's broken, especially in the wintertime, and it literally holds moisture in. When that barrier is broken, the moisture you can't hold on to the moisture. And then you've got dead skin cells after dead skin cells on top, and then nothing can penetrate to get in there and make that stuff hard. Then make it soft. So I don't know if you've noticed that when you put cream on your hands and they're super, super duper dry and you haven't washed them or anything, you just feel like it sits on top.
Yeah.
And doesn't do anything. Mm-hmm. It's because there's so much dead skin, it just sits on top and it doesn't go anywhere. So pretty much you're wasting your product, because you're not taking off the old stuff in order for it to go into the skin and get down to create new skin cells.
Okay.
Yeah, so That's how you want to.
So how does someone go about? I'm thinking about like a belt sander here, like,
Right.
clearing off like all the old skin on your hands without a belt sander.
Yes. Those are super fun. Especially for the feet. But yeah, you could actually go to, I recommend my clients all the time, you can go into the dollar store and they have these gloves that you can put on that are scratchy and they're exfoliating gloves. And when you go into the dollar store, they're in the bath section. A lot of times when you walk in, if I'm remembering correctly, I think they're always on like the left-hand side. I don't know why, but they always seem to be on the left-hand side of the store. Sometimes they come in mittens and sometimes they come in gloves and they're $1. Buy like 5. And then you put them on every day and you just exfoliate all over and everywhere. Like on your bum, on your belly, on your back, on your arms, everything. Because if we're also sweating. So we're coming in from out and we have all these clothes on and then we start sweating and that's where pimples and stuff can also happen on the back. So if you're exfoliating on the back, a lot of that is also being taken care of as well. Because if you notice, a lot of people have acne on their back, but then they don't in the summertime because they're always out and about and the sun's beating on them and they're not, they don't have things that are like holding on to all the, like your shirt's holding on to all the sweat and the dead skin cells and all that stuff. So one way, So one way you can do that is at home with exfoliating gloves. And you can also come into the spa and I have a body scrub that I do. And with the body scrub, it's, I do a super exfoliating, I have a really good body exfoliator and then I have this really awesome little body scrub cloth. And I go through the arms and the legs and the back, which is most people, I spend the most of the time on the back because people can't usually get their back. And so you go around, start with your left arm, you go around all the way, then you do the back, and then after all that's wiped off and you're all scrubbed and you feel nice and good, then I take coconut oil infused with essential oils, and then I rub the body parts. So you get an arm rub, leg rubs, and then you get a really nice back massage on top of it. It's a fluff and buff because I'm not a massage therapist, but it feels really, really good. Gets the blood flowing and gets all of those dead skin cells off as well.
Good.
Yeah.
What about in environments like what we get, where it's cold, it's super cold, and it's like the next day it's like 40 or 50, and then it gets like it freezes again. Like that's probably, I don't know if it's the same process or.
Yep. It's, I mean, well, and up here, because there are so many different things, if, wait 5 minutes, you don't like the weather now, wait 5 minutes, and then it changes type of situation up here. So with that, you have so many days where you're like, oh my God, okay, now I'm going to strip down my layers, and your skin's like, yay, and it's getting hit with the sun, and, because you have your shorter sleeves on, or, your sandals, which a lot of people up here wear. But that's so dramatic. Like in a course of a week, we have 10 minutes, like 10 degrees, and then 50 degrees, and then, walking in and out of these environments, and then the heat, like pellet stoves, are horrible.
Yeah. Well, pellets, I mean, just aside, it makes everything in the house super dry.
Oh, yeah.
Any fire.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Any type of heat makes everything dry. So when you're coming in from this outside, and your face and your hands and parts, because of the pants with the holes in them and stuff and all those parts, it's totally affected by all of that. So you're coming in from the outside, then you're in this really, really hot, really warm, very dry air. So it also helps to just get all that going. Like you feel itchy and scratchy and all that stuff. That's what a body scrub is going to help make it feel better, because then you're going to be able to put your cream on, and your cream is going to actually go into the skin and just kind of, instead of just sitting on top of it.
That's good. That actually reminds me of, way sidetracked here, but back when I used to be a dance teacher,
Yep.
I had this one individual who worked there, and he would always make fun of me because my skin's a little dry, but it's not bad. But he moisturized a ton.
Yeah.
But every time I would touch his hands, like, it felt like gross, and I'm like, oh God, I can feel it on you. So talking about it, I'm like, I should have been like, you have a lot of dead skin.
I can't touch you because all that dead skin is gonna come off and it's gross.
So, but yeah, he used to drive me crazy. But I'm like, oh God, I don't want to touch you because your hands are like
right, because they're
disgusting.
greasy.
Yeah,
because nothing can go inside of it.
Yeah.
Like,
so he's like, I moisturize all the time, and I'm like,
no.
Oh my God,
but you're not doing anything. Right. You need to get in there and scrub.
Well, that's good to know. I didn't.
Yeah.
That's again good things. Knows that. I think we just said that's the entire body. So my issue is my feet. We've gone over this before.
Mm-hmm.
Super dry feet. I just kind of deal with that, but probably should do that more often.
You really should, because foot health is very, very like.
Yeah.
I mean, that was their last one of our interviews about how foot health is so important. If your feet are hurting, your whole body is hurting.
Yeah.
So it's like your teeth,
Oh,
feet and teeth. Like who would have ever thought that feet and teeth could affect the entire body?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it does have a big impact on you as a whole, and so I can see how that probably needs some work. And anything exposed to like the really super cold air, you probably want to be looking at taking care of.
Yeah, well, the one thing about the winter time, a lot of my clients will get regular pedicures, but they won't get any kind of like polish or anything because our feet in the wintertime are always enclosed in socks and shoes. The majority of the time that you're actually going to find that your skin is super dry, your feet are super dry, is going to be in the summertime because your feet are always out and the air is hitting them. You would think that it would be different. But in the wintertime, we take a shower, we have all of our soaps and stuff, we put our shoes on, and it helps to keep the skin a little bit moist instead of, and it's covered, so the elements aren't getting to it as well. But the other parts of your body in the wintertime is crazy. Your face, your hands. Like, I look at my hands sometimes and I'm all like, oh my God, where did that skin come from? And then I immediately go get my little scrub brush and I'm like, and then I take my hand cream and I rub it in and I just wait until it all settles in. It's so nice. And, so lactic acid is a really good thing to use in during this time of year because it'll actually help remove the dead skin cells, and you can use it every single day.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good tip.
It's awesome.
So I want to give one little more tip because that's really good on winter skin health.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. But I also want to touch back on something we were talking about a little earlier. We were talking about kind of getting into hotheads and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So a brand new person looking to get into your field.
Yep.
They just graduated school. They're all nice and happy, but they've never started a business before. Where do they start? Like, how should they find a studio or a place they can work? How do they negotiate, rates? And there's a lot going on there. So let's talk a little bit about the business side of it.
Okay. So I actually was very lucky to know Wendy because Wendy is the type of owner that likes to have booth renters, but like booth and room renters, but she was at that time okay with bringing somebody on board and helping them grow their business because that's how she grew her business. She went to go work for somebody who helped her with that because when she became licensed, you had to wait an entire year before you could be self-employed, and they took that rule away. So now you graduate aesthetic school, and you can go and open your own space if your house is, licensed and zoned and all that stuff for it, you can open a spa in your house as long as it's all copacetic because, the state board needs to come in and check it out and they need to do an inspection and all that stuff. So graduating right out of school is kind of hard to do it unless you have two incomes kind of like you have somebody that can help you
Yeah.
pay for everything because you don't make a lot of money at first. One of the things that I do to bring in new clients is Cuptopia, which is a New Hampshire-based kind of like marketing company that helps me to get my name out there in some specials that I'm running. And then Groupon. Groupon is a really great way to get people to you, but it's very, you take a hit on your full prices. They really want you to be really low.
Yeah.
And then they take an extra percentage on top of that. So you just need to make sure that you have like 2 years worth of all of your bills in the bank, or you just need to make sure that you have somebody who can help you kind of like navigate financially with that. One of the things that happens is if you're in a school that has connections to certain spas, they will tend to have a career board, and you can look at the career board and see what type of jobs are out there. Also, the other thing is to create a resume, and everybody in this industry wants to physically see you. They tend not to want to see a resume emailed to them. They physically would like to have you come in because they want to see how you're dressed, how you're put together. You know, if you're going to be working for a salon, you want to make sure that you look the part when you walk in. You know, don't go to an interview in like leggings and like crop top. You know, do your hair, wear a nice outfit. Like, think about what you're going to see a family member in. You know, you're going to go visit your grandmother or your mother. Even if you're a little bit on the edgy side, you can be edgy, but you just need to look professional.
Yeah. Well, especially if you're going to a salon that is a little bit edgy.
Yeah.
You kind of have to tailor your style to where you're going.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you're going to like a hair excitement, you might want to dress trendy because they're in the mall.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to an established salon like Salon Bogar, he's very well established and his salon looks a certain way. So he would be you'd get a little bit more dressy to go up and have an interview there because you walk in and there's a boutique and they have girls at the front desk and then the salon and all of all the hair stuff is on the left-hand side. And so you want to make sure that you're looking the part when you go. You can also start at places like Ulta, which is a really great way to learn how to approach people and talk to people. One of the things that I did for years is I was a Mary Kay representative, so it got me over my fear of approaching people and talking to people.
Yeah.
And always have a 60-second elevator speech as to what it is that you do for work. You don't want to keep rambling about what you do, like I do sometimes.
We all do.
Yeah, but if you can get like a 60-second thing, oh, hi, my name is Deana. I own DMH Beauty and Associates. I'm an esthetician and a nail technician, and I love my job, and I do facials and waxings and nail treatments and acrylics and pedicures. And one of those things is going to trigger somebody to be like, oh, yeah, I want to come see you. And always have your phone number on a piece like a card, even if it's just your name and a phone number, so you can give it to people to talk to you. It's also, you have to be very on your game with your clients. You can't miss a lot of work or any of that stuff. But starting out, you want to, word of mouth is huge. If this instructor knows this person hiring at this specific salon, you definitely want to use that connection.
Yeah. Name
dropping is okay in this industry as long as the name that you're dropping is not attached to crazy.
Which sometimes it can be.
It can be.
I don't know a lot about your industry, but I do know crazy is kind of rampant.
Yes, especially in the beauty industry. Well, we're all creative. You get a bunch of creative types in one particular situation and one particular area, and sometimes there's chaos that ensues, but, and it's fun.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And it's so fun, working in in the business world, I was always told I'm too loud. I can't talk. Like I can't laugh. Like I am a very boisterous personality, and I don't want to stop that. I don't want to not be that person. So just when you go in, just be yourself, and love what you do, and physically go in, look the part, dress the part, make sure that your makeup is done, make sure that your skin looks beautiful. You're going to somebody to be a skincare therapist. You don't want to roll in there just waking up and your hair is not done and you have no makeup on and your skin looks horrible, and if you got that pimple, take care of it.
Yeah, you're kind of touching on a funny point where the trainer at the gym shouldn't be fat.
Yeah.
The esthetician should probably have a
pretty
decent
skin. Right.
Take care of themselves a little bit.
The hairdresser should not have, fried hair, stuff like that.
Yeah. And, not saying they can't and be successful, but there is a bit of a, well, you don't do it.
Right. You're an esthetician? Yeah.
So
what?
there is a little bit to that, and people are,
absolutely.
kind of shallow about that type of thing, and
they
it comes
are.
to mind. So, it's important.
A lot of people are like, I want your skin. And I'm like, well, I spend a lot of money on my skin, and I do treatments, and I do peels.
If someone tells me they want my skin, I think there's a much bigger problem than... So I think you should run. Just saying, Deana.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's a true statement, though. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, because you're right. Like, you need to look the part. You have to be ready to work, because when you get into any industry, and especially, I think people overlook this too. They expect to walk in and people just come to them. Like, you have to build your client base. You have to attract clients to you that keep coming back. So, these aren't things that are just handed to you, because they're not going to be like, here's your clients, and they're going to keep coming back to you.
No.
If they show up and you do a really bad job, you're never going to see them again.
Never. And then they're going to talk about you.
Yeah.
Because people will actually talk about a bad experience 10 times more
absolutely.
than they will with a good experience.
Yeah.
So, and you have to make sure that you're friendly. You had a bad day with your husband or your kids or whatever, the neighbor down the street or your sister. You have to take all of that off before you walk anywhere in there, because you have to be on at all points and times. So, and there will be clients that you will get that you'll be able to be completely honest with, and you can have kind of a down day with. But for the most part, they don't want to see that. They come to you because they want to feel good, and you're making them feel good.
Yeah.
So that's going to be your biggest thing, is word of mouth in this industry is huge. That's how you're going to really get a lot of people. You can have 75 Groupon people come in 1 month, but if you're not turning them over into regular clients, you're constantly in search mode and you're never going to be successful. So, and then you have to look at what it is that you're doing as an individual to keep them from wanting to rebook. So, and it's hard because you have to be a little aggressive.
Yeah.
When they come in, say you came in for a pedicure, and when you leave, I have to be, okay, so I usually offer a discount on my pedis. I, offer $10 discount if you come in monthly, because foot health is extremely important, and, I should probably see you on a monthly basis. When can I get you in? And then you stop talking and you wait for them to answer you. And that is a very hard thing for people to learn. And it is very hard as an individual to not want to continue to talk when somebody's staring at you.
Oh, yeah.
Like they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're like, why are you asking me this question?
I don't know if you know a lot about car sales.
Not a lot,
there's a saying, the first person that talks loses. So, it's exactly that. This car is going to be $5,000 down at $400 a month. This is what you're paying. You hand them the pen and you're just like, don't talk. like the first
Yeah.
person that says something
Yeah.
is on the losing side of that argument moving forward.
Absolutely. Right. Exactly. So, and you definitely need to think about, what your goals are. And you're going to find in school things that you're going to love and things that you're going to hate. And in the beginning, you can do all of it and figure out and hone your skills and do all of that stuff. And, but if you can't turn them into a regular client, it's super important to be able to have a conversation with individuals. Like if you're going into aesthetics or massage or hair and you're an introvert and you don't like people and you can't talk to people properly, or you should try and do some research on how to fix that before you get into that type of field, because you have to be able to explain things to people. You have to make people want to come back and see you. So it's the whole thing. It's where you're working, what it looks like, how clean you are, how clean your room is, what it looks like, what it smells like, and your services. Like people, when they eat with their eyes first. That's how people enter a spa. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Or why am I in this bright room and there's just a bed in the middle of it and it doesn't feel cozy or warm?
And she wants my skin.
Right. And she wants my skin. What? So, yeah. But the business side of it is hard. I work 6 days a week, and I work anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And it's the most rewarding job I have ever had, and I wouldn't change it for anything. But you have to work at it. It's not just going to happen for you. You have to be you have to have a little bit of the aggression part, the friendly part, and you have to be good at your job. So you have to have all of that rolled into this one perfect little package. And sometimes I'm not perfect.
No one is, and it's our growth as entrepreneurs, from the beginning to end, and where you are now, you're not going to be, in 5-10 years or whenever you die,
Right.
Right. And it's personal growth, and we learn from mistakes, we learn better scheduling, better ways to deal with clients, and it's just that constant progression of how many times can you fail,
right,
and keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you want to also make sure that you, as an esthetician, that you're comfortable with the skincare products that you're dealing with, and go to every single training that they have, because there are always so many things. Even with this industry, there's all kind of things. Like there's this strange vampire facial where they take your blood and they put it on your face, and I don't know much about it. I can't do that, so I don't do it. But it's like things like that you're going to hear. Like let's see, one of the things that they were trying to do, because over in Asia they have these pedicure tubs that you go, and these little tiny fish go and they eat all the dead skin cells off of your feet, and your feet are amazing when they come out. But in the US, we have to clean everything. Yeah. So in order to do that, we would kill the goldfish all the time, or the little baby fish that are in there all the time. Yeah. I don't know what kind of fish they are, but
I don't know.
So we can't have them here.
We're talking about some crazy stuff that I'm like, if I'm like laying on a table and it's completely white room and they're like, we're going to make you bleed, I'm like, this isn't what I had in mind for getting my skin clean today.
Right.
So,
right. Right. I mean, it's interesting the things that they come up with for aesthetic stuff and for skincare stuff. It just blows my mind, but it's always evolving. This industry, people are finally realizing that you have to take really good care of your skin, because it's the thing that literally holds you together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the package that holds your bones and your muscles and keeps it all in place, and we don't take care of it as humans. We just don't take care of our skin. we're all like, oh, I want to be brown because it's so pretty. Have that glowing bronze look. And, I embrace my whiteness. Like, the whiter, the better. I'm completely okay with that. I want to be see-through sometimes, but...
There's a lot of damage that can happen because of the sun. And that's probably one of the big things is, like my wife is a ginger, so she's super pale.
Yes, she is.
But
she's so cute. I love her skin.
If it's bright outside, she needs to stay in.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So I get that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And wintertime is just terrible on the face and the body.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so drying everywhere. And if you're not drinking enough water and, I have...
and you also just thinking about... you're literally surrounded by like literally a giant mirror like the entire day. Where all of a sudden, instead of getting the sun, you have the sun and the snow just pelting you with light.
Absolutely.
And, it's freaking crazy.
It is crazy, and it gets all here and underneath your neck and back on your ears, and people don't realize that sunscreen is a big thing.
Yeah.
We do need some form of sun to our bodies to get the vitamin D that we need, unless you're taking pills or whatever. But for the most part, sunscreen on your face is great. You can get the vitamin D through other areas of not covering them. But for a lot of people, if you don't wear sunscreen, skin cancer is a huge thing. Yeah. And that is no joke. Like, skin cancer is terrifying. Like, you can have a little tiny mark, but underneath it has these roots. Mm-hmm. So you can have a little spot, but it's it's the size of a grapefruit that, all that, and that has to come out. And then it leaves like divots in your skin. It's crazy. Like, if you see people that have skin cancer, they literally have divots in their skin from it. Yeah. So, but I think in the wintertime, all you really need to do is just make sure that you're moisturizing, make sure you're exfoliating, and if you can, get some body treatments, get a facial. Even if you can't afford it every month, get a facial once a quarter. Just come in at the end of every season just to kind of get all that dead skin off and just start over new for the new season. I have a lot of clients that do that. I have a lot of clients that come in monthly, and those are the women that are all like, oh my God, I have this age spot here and the pores, and oh my God, I can't believe I have these wrinkles around my eyes and I want to look like I'm 25 again. And I can't do that because I'm not a plastic surgeon. but the women that I've been working with for the last 2 years, I've noticed a significant difference in the way that their skin feels and the way that their skin looks and how they treat it. So now they actually are on a good skincare system. And a lot of people think that a good skincare system is like 25 different steps, and it's not. All you need to do is cleanse and moisturize. If that's all you can do, my little esthetician heart is always extremely happy. But when I hear, yeah, well, what are you using for soap on your face? Like cleanser. What are you using for cleanser on your face? I use Dial. I dye a little on the inside every time I hear that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little sad. But if you are having a problem with, you can't come into my spa and you can't buy $125 worth of stuff, or you can't, spend $40 on a moisturizer, go to the grocery store and get coconut oil. Coconut oil is amazing. Yeah. I use it in my massages with essential oils in it, and it's amazing what it does. And it's very light. It absorbs into the skin really well. So for those clients that do have the means to be able to come in and get facials and to buy the products, that's the best way to go. But if you're on limited means, come in once a quarter. And, if you can get the cleanser, that would be amazing. And then use your coconut oil or, a moisturizer that has worked for you in the past. And then put an exfoliator in there, once or twice a week. But not St. Ives apricot scrub on your face. just on your feet.
Very good. So, good. Those are a whole lot of conversation there. So we're going to start getting to the wrap up. But thank you so much for all of this. Like, that was a lot.
I know.
And it was funny because I only had like a couple things written down as notes. But like, just with you and me and how we talk anyway, that just gets blown into proportion. So
I'm really glad that you take all of my crazy, because I'm all over the place all the time. I'm so glad that you're now able to like do this and be like, okay, we got to put this. So she doesn't seem so out of control.
Well, like I was saying, there's a development to it where, at first dealing with, like my own friends and Piper was just like, oh my God, I'm going to rein everybody in here. But, over time it gets a little easier where your conversations are going, but I'm like, oh, here's the point I want to make and bring it in. And, it's an experience thing. And sometimes I have interviews where I'm like, I have no idea what to ask this person. I try, and I'm trying so hard, but like the conversation is just not moving very well. And it happens, it
does.
Because there's so many different personalities.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing is like what you go back to with the business portion of things where when I said you really can't be an introvert in this industry, like you have to be able to be a conversation starter and to be able to talk to people and to be able to ask the questions and find out what it is, because people will say this. Like I had a client that this person was having really bad issues with acne coming up, and they had been coming to me for a while, and we started doing peels, but this person wasn't doing their aftercare at their house. So they weren't washing their face properly. They weren't using what they were supposed to be doing. And I wasn't able to help them. And the last time that they came in, I was like, I really don't want to do this service because we're not seeing any changes. And as a person who's in this industry, you have to be able to do those things. You have to be able to have those hard conversations with your clients that says, I'm not doing anything for you. As hard as it is to let a client go and see money walk out the door, it's better to do that than to screw up your reputation. Because that was the one thing that I had said. I was like, I feel like I can't help you anymore. This is my business reputation on the line, and I just want to make sure that you're happy with what's going on. My suggestion would be talk to your dermatologist and then go from there. Yeah. So, but sometimes you have to let people go in order to get more people. Because if you keep concentrating on one bad or 3 bad clients, the new good clients aren't going to come see you. So with that, you have, it's just such a fine line to try and make people happy, but be good at your job and not offend people, but also make sure that you're being taken care of, with them, and they're being taken care of by you. But it's so fun. I love it. And it's hard, but it's worth every part. I would never go back to ever working for somebody ever again or being in an office.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can't. Just can't do it. You're like, no, oh my God, please don't make me go back there.
So how do people get a hold of you, Deana?
Oh, people get a hold of me. They can call me at 603-703-3077, or they can go to my website at dmhbeauty.com, and they can check out some of my pictures and my services and all that good stuff.
Okay. Facebook?
Facebook is DMH Beauty on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll link to all these things too so people can get them, but I just have people to
and Instagram is also DMH Beauty.
Okay.
I'm not on there a lot right now, but it's something that I will be changing because I want to start taking more pictures of my clients and start taking before and after pictures of people. Had I taken before pictures of the ladies that I'm speaking of with the pores that are kind of like disappearing and the age spots that are getting lighter and the dryness that is gone and all the evenness and stuff, I did not take before pictures of them. And that would have been completely, okay, so she started coming to see me in March, and this person started coming to see me in September, and now we have had all of this time, and now look what has happened. And, so it's awesome to see the different changes and stuff that happens through people's skin.
Very good.
It's awesome. I love it.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Deana. It's always a pleasure.
You're welcome, Chris. It always is.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.